So, my girlfriend Sarah got roped at a party, and everything spiraled from there. I was blindsided when she decided to keep the baby, calling it a blessing in disguise. I mean, how could I see it that way? Every time I looked at her, I was reminded of what happened. Guilt washed over me for even thinking about leaving. But raising a kid that wasn't mine? That felt like a mountain too steep to climb. I drove over to my buddy Ryan's place, hoping for some clarity. He joked about the situation, as he always does, but when I laid it all out, he got serious. He said it was my call, but if I felt overwhelmed, I should consider leaving. Great, just what I needed, more confusion. On my way home, I called Jason, a friend from college. I broke down the whole mess, framing it as a hypothetical, but he saw right through me. He said if I loved Sarah, I should stick around. After all, she was already dealing with enough trauma. Plus, kids without fathers often struggle. I needed validation, and Jason was there to provide it, even if I didn't fully agree with his pro-life stance. By the time I got home, I knew I had to face this decision alone. I walked in and asked Sarah if we could talk. I poured my heart out, expressing my sorrow for what she was going through. But when I suggested terminating the pregnancy, her reaction was like I'd suggested we throw puppies into a fire. She shot back that I already knew her answer. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind. Some days we were on cloud nine, enjoying our favorite spots, but then Sarah would mention the baby, and we'd dive right back into the same argument. I just couldn't wrap my head around why she wanted to keep the baby. We were both in college, drowning in loans. What had changed? One night, I lay in bed, pondering the shift in Sarah. I decided to go through her phone. Not my proudest moment, but I needed answers. I found texts with her friend Bridget, mostly memes and girl talk. But then I stumbled upon a group chat with her parents. The messages were brutal. Her mom blamed Sarah for the incident, saying she deserved it for how she dressed. It was a gut punch. Just as I was processing this, Sarah walked in. I quickly locked her phone and greeted her with a hug, trying to mask my turmoil. I asked how she was doing, and she mentioned breakfast would solve everything. I chuckled, but inside, I was a mess. I wanted to talk about the baby and her mom, but I couldn't reveal I'd snooped. After a few weeks of trying to support her, I finally mustered the courage to confront the truth. I told her I'd seen the messages and how I knew she didn't want the baby. To my surprise, she broke down. It was like a dam had burst. She felt trapped, and the baby was a constant reminder of that night. I assured her I was there for her, and we agreed to terminate the pregnancy if that's what she truly wanted. The next morning, I made her breakfast in bed, hoping to keep the momentum going. When I asked if she meant what she said the night before, she hesitated, scared of her parents' reaction. I reminded her she was no longer under their roof, and we began searching for clinics together. Days passed, and the appointment arrived. I waited in the clinic while she underwent the procedure. When she came out, she looked relieved but exhausted. Then her phone rang. It was her mom. Sarah was terrified to answer, fearing the fallout. I offered to handle it, and when her parents arrived, I stood my ground. They were furious, blaming Sarah for everything. I told them to leave or I'd call the cops. Fast forward a year, and we were enjoying a sunny Saturday morning when her parents showed up at our door. They wanted to make amends, but the damage was done. Sarah had already forgiven them, but rebuilding trust would take time. We tried to reconnect, but every dinner ended in arguments, and Sarah's trauma lingered. Eventually, they faded from our lives, and Sarah focused on her healing. Our relationship blossomed, and we realized we only needed each other to navigate life. In the end, love can be messy, but it's also powerful. We face the storm together, and that's what truly matters.